tried to, but so I'm going to do a Q&A, I think. I think I'm going to do a question and answer here in a second if this guy comes out. If not, I'll give him a couple more minutes and I'm going to take off because I have other people that well, accountability for all is has been a friend of mine and a friend to me. So anybody who says anything about him or tries to create a wedge or a divide between he and I, it's probably not going to happen. Good luck with that. And by the way, believing that you can change the world, you have to be a little bit insane. You have to be a little bit crazy to believe that you can change the world. Hey Dan, I don't talk about qualified immunity here. That's the second comment, bud. Sorry, man. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit aggressive, so I don't talk about qualified immunity here hardly ever. What I do talk about is I talk about overturning Terry versus Ohio. I've made several videos that show that Terry versus Ohio is the most destructive, unlegislated, non-signed by an executive, the most tyrannical garbage we've ever dealt with. So, we don't stop under any circumstances. So I was going to do a Q&A here, but if this guy doesn't come out, I'll probably just talk to you guys for a couple minutes. There's literally dozens of people waiting to have a talk with me, and so I came over here to talk to these guys. They wanted to have an interview type show. I'll do what I do. I'll go knock on the door again. But so far, I've been sitting here now, and I got here a little earlier, and I had to go run some errands. I had to get a gentleman's bail money back to him. I paid him back yesterday, and then the Zelly didn't go through, so I had to go back and go. I had to drive an hour to the bank and back to get over there. I'm not sure what's going on here. You guys are going to see a blank screen for 1 second. I'm going to check something. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Give up here in a minute because I came here to talk to these guys, but they're not answering the doors, so I'm going to go. I really don't have much of a choice because I don't have time to waste. I have things I have to get done. There are people waiting to speak, to tell their stories. I'll try knocking on the door, but then that's it. After that, I'm going to go. I don't have time for no, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I had to squeeze this in as it was. So just to protect the anonymity. I'm just going to protect the anonymity real quick so that these people can have some privacy. There you go. That's a knock. Yeah, are they going to let me in or not? I came here to do an interview. I have an interview at 6 o'clock. I'm not lying to you, brother. You know who I am. I'm not lying. With Dave. I'm supposed to be in there right now, but I mean, I can go. I have other things I got to do, but it is what it is. You want to let them know I'm here at least, so I'm going to stand outside? Look, I don't do very many interviews with the press because it never goes well. But I'm going to give this guy a chance, and I'm going to live stream it, and then it'll be fair. At least it's fair if I live stream it. From now on, every time I do, just like you guys saw, from now on, every time I do an interview, every single time I do an interview, I'll be live streaming it. Because the press has not ever really helped us. They've done nothing but hurt us. The press works in collusion with these dirty pigs, and there's just no other way to see it. The press works in collusion to paint you bad, paint you ugly. A friend of mine, call him Bob. Call a guy named Bob here in Ironton. Bob has some success. I don't want to even tell you too much about Bob, but he was the gentleman that I went live and I was standing in front of a sheet so you couldn't recognize anybody's information where I was, and him and his partner were just off screen. And I said to Bob, man, why didn't you fight back when they railroaded you and the cops cheated you and they drug you out of your house and shackled you like a pig? And he said, Chille, here's the write-up in the paper. And he showed me, everybody has the clippings of what happened to them. And what happened to him was he got railroaded. And then in the media, the press here, you guys have seen the press here about me.
It's after hours. He's home with his family.
No, there's an interview right here. I was just in this building. I just went to the bathroom.
Dave Lucas?
Yeah.
Wrong place. I apologize.
I
don't work for Dave.
Okay.
I work at a different department in this.
Well, can you call him? I don't have his phone number. I mean, it's 6:07. He wanted to start this.
I don't even know. I know that it's after hours. I don't know that he's here.
No.
I don't work for Dave Lucas. There's another. This whole building's rented out by other people. But if you're here for Dave Lucas, hang out all you want, okay? But this is the only door to this.
I know that, but I'm supposed to be back there, right? Okay.
I just seen you knocking on the other door, and that's for the business that I work for. So I didn't want you to, you know what I mean?
Okay, I got it.
This is the door.
Well, I don't know why he's not answering the door. I mean, maybe I had to run a couple errands. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I guess what I will do is I'll sit here for a couple minutes and I'll take how you doing? Any questions from you guys, but I really don't have time. I really just cut my time out of my day here to come here, and now I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't overthink it. You can't think about it too much. So listen, I still have the free Trifold. You can still get this 100% for free. It doesn't cost you anything if you get the digital download. And you guys, maybe you guys didn't see it earlier, but earlier when I was driving to go to the bank, because my bank's not here, I was driving down out of Ohio, and I think I was heading to West Virginia. I still don't know the tri-state area very well. And what happened was, when I was driving out of town, the speed limit, you guys, does anybody else notice this? The speed limit goes 25, 35, 45, 55, 60. Does anybody else notice that? Does anybody else notice that? I'm just wondering. Thank you for the comment. Does anybody else notice that the speed limit goes down to 25, up to 35, to 45, to 55, to 60? And I was like, so then I was driving out of town to go to my bank, and that was to get Corey Speaker the bail money that he put up for me. And when I was heading out, there was an Ohio State trooper parked right at this little section in the road where the speed limit changes. It goes from 55 to 45, and that's where he was sitting shooting his radar gun at someone. And so I pulled over on the side of the road where the cop was, and I walked up to him, and I was talking on the phone, so I just audio recorded it because I auto record all my phone calls. I asked the person I was speaking to hold on a second while I go up, and I have an audio recording of it. I'll release it. And I walked up to the Ohio State trooper, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, I'm using my LiDAR, my radar." And I said to him, "Why?" I said, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "Do you think you're doing any good right here?" I said to the Ohio State trooper, "Do you think you're performing a service right now? You think this is a service for the Ohioans? Is that what you think?" I just asked him. And he said, "Oh, I'm just doing my job," or something like that. I don't want to say what he said or didn't say because I have it recorded and I'll put it out. And I just told him, I said, "Listen to me. One of the commandments of the Bible is honor thy father and thy mother." I said, "And you sitting here, this doesn't bring honor to your family name. This doesn't bring you honor. This doesn't bring you clout. You're sitting here radaring people so that if they're going a fraction over, you can pull them over." And I said to him straight up, I said, "Let me be clear. I'm running for governor of Ohio. I'm coming back here. My residency is going to be here." I said, "And when I'm the governor of Ohio, you sitting on the side of the road shooting people with a radar gun, that's not going to happen anymore. Just to let you know, officer. Just to let you know. It's done. Everything, you guys, Everything that we grew up with, if you're Gen X or you're a boomer or you're an older millennial, everything that we grew up with is over. It's done. It is completed. It is in total. I mean, Judge Waldo, from what I understand, some people have told me that they went over and said something to Judge Waldo on his Facebook page. I am not saying you guys should harass a judge. Please do not harass that man. If you're going to talk to Mr. Waldo, please treat him with respect. He is a judge, and he I don't know if he's elected or appointed, but he is a judge. And in America, because of Tenney versus Brandoff, that judge can do anything he wants to you once you're in his court of law. That man could have put me in prison right today. He could have said, take him to the dungeon, and the bailiffs would have taken him to the dungeon. What's up, Captain?
Well, I just wanted to let you know, this is a local rehab.
I'm telling you, man, I just went to the bathroom in here.
I'm just giving you a heads up. These are
rehabilitated people?
I'm just Dave. I don't think he's here. And,
no,
and if it's after
what
hours,
I'm trying to tell you, dude, is I was just in here 5 minutes ago. I went to the bathroom in here. They said they have to mic me for sound. I said I have to run a friend over to his car, and I'll be right back. When I came back, the door was locked. He is in there. They're in that recording studio right there. I'm telling you for a fact, 100%.
Okay.
And last I checked, I have a memory like a steel trap.
Okay.
So I'm telling you. And there's
Okay.
there's 700 people watching right now.
This is his door, though. I promise.
I believe you.
Okay.
I was just here.
All right.
I was just at this location.
All right. I don't mean to keep bothering you.
You're not bothering me, dude. I appreciate the input. No, listen, just so you guys know, this fight will separate you from your family. This fight will separate you from longtime friends. This fight to change. Why can't, let me ask you guys a question. Whether you guys are getting along in the comments or not, let me ask you guys a question. Don't think about Judge Waldo and them keeping my phone. I want to ask you a question, and I want people who even are here to hate me. If you hate me, I'm okay with that. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that people should be able to audio record their public hearing? Initially, just so you guys know, when I went in, they said that they were going to have me be heard first and bar everybody from the courtroom. And I said, then I won't enter the room. I have a right to a public hearing. I will not appear before the judge if you try to bar these people from going into the courtroom. That happened today. They literally tried to bar the people from hearing the hearing this morning. And I said the answer is no, I won't participate. I will not participate in something that is unconstitutional at the start. I won't do it. And then they changed their tune and they allowed everybody to come into the courtroom. So the question I have, even for the haters, don't you think that since it's 2022 and you guys saw me shell out the money that people donated and I paid the court costs, and we're always going to pay, so we're going to keep track of all the money it costs you to go to court. And we're going to keep track, and we're going to see if you have that amount of money. Do you think you should be able to audio record your hearing? Yes or no? And even if you hate me and you think I'm a loser and I'm a fraud and all those things. But then in the meanwhile, do you think you should be able to audio record? Yes or no? Yes, you should be able to record. No, you shouldn't. I'm going to count them out loud. Yes, yes, yes. For sure. Yes. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. How about people that hate me? People that hate me, do you think you should be able to audio record? Yes or no? Yes, yes, yes. Why can't you audio record? It cost me $100 that I got through donations to pay for the transcripts of what happened. Now, let me tell you what I said right away. As there was a news crew in the front row with their camera, with their reporter, sitting in the front row. In front of everybody else, there was a camera with a tripod. And they said that right away, as soon as the hearing began, I said, Your Honor, I'd like to make a matter of record that I would like to audio record this hearing right here, right now. And then he said, according to the Ohio State revised code, you have to put I said, Your Honor, you are the foremost senior man of justice in this room. Right now, you can grant my oral motion. Right this second, you can. And he said, but there's been 150 years where you couldn't record in the courtroom. And I said to him, that time has come and it is gone. That's what I said to that man. That time is over. There's no reason why you should not be able to audio record your hearing. So this guy's not going to answer. I guess he's offended that I told him I was going to be late, and then I had to get Corey's money back to him. It's just that simple. So, okay, guys, I came by here. And so now, do you think that police should be able to turn on and off their body cameras? Do you think that police should be able to... by the way, guys, I'll be on Accountability for All's channel tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Accountability for All is having a panel of auditors, and I'm one of them. I'm grateful to be invited and part of the group. And so do you think that police should be able to turn on and off their body camera? Do you think that? You think that's right? You think that's right? Do you think that's right? Do you think they should be able to turn it on and off? No, they should not. Yes, they should. No, they should not. Yes, they should. Okay? So, okay. So it looks like I haven't seen one person disagree. I haven't seen one person. So there's a bunch of haters in here and a bunch of trolls too. So that's fine. So then you should not be able to turn on and off the body camera, and you should be able to audio record your public hearing. Why can't you? Why can't you? Why can't you? I'm just so confused. I would love to understand how and why the cops can turn on and off their body cameras, because remember, Blankenship, who stalked down Sarah, remember Sarah Page, the reason why I came here? Sarah Page was stalked by Blankenship, stalking her. If we had all that body cam, which we have put in a motion for that body cam, then the question is, why can they turn it on and off? How good does that do? How good does it do? It's terrible. So I guess I was too late for this. Okay, well, I was looking forward to this, but that's all right. What am I going to do? There's nothing I can do about it. So I had to get Corey Speaker back his money, and my Zelly didn't work today, so I had to drive all the way to Huntington to go to the bank, and then drive all the way back. So there it is. All right. Well, I'm not going to sit outside this guy's studio. I was here a second ago. They were in the back. All right. No big deal. Make sure you get your free Trifold at checkout, and it gives you a free Trifold. Here's what I was going to say to these guys, just so you know, because you can never really answer the media's questions anymore. You just have to say what your message is. And here's the message I was going to give to these gentlemen here. A new day has dawned. The sun will always come up tomorrow. It's always darkest before the dawn. What is the serenity prayer? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, let me tell you something. God bless, but I no longer accept the things I cannot change. We are changing the things we can no longer accept. And that's what I'm talking about. You can't record in court. The cops can turn on and off their body cameras, and you don't get the body cam footage. You don't get it. Did you hear that woman's story today? That McKnight pulled her over, started verbally abusing her. She drove off. He wrecked her car. She wrecked into another car. Then she went to the dungeon for a month. Did you guys read that? And then, but Judge Ballard gave her a break. I've heard a couple tough stories about Ballard, but he actually said, let her go when she spoke up, and just put an ankle. And he said, we'll find her an ankle monitor. So I'm pretty annoyed, to be honest with you, because I could have been at other people's places. I could have been interviewing somebody. I could have been interviewing someone who's a victim right now, and instead I'm sitting outside this thing. I'll never do his interview again. You lost me, bud. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to sit in front of your studio. I'm going to pull over here. You lost me. It's all good, dude. Listen, just join in with the rest of the media and you can just bash me, because I don't care. I don't care. I literally don't give a flying toot. I don't care. Not one single bit. I simply don't care. And I want to say this to you guys as well. Don't engage with these trolls. Listen, the more and more the movement grows, the more and more people will talk bad, will make up things, will create fake criminal records, will make videos and say, oh, this guy's lying about this guy's lying about that. No, so YouTube emailed me, and they said some things to me. And so then I wrote back because someone had used my entire video. Someone took a video of mine, put the whole video up on their page as though it was their video, and YouTube had contacted me. And I said to YouTube, I said, thank you so much for contacting me. But I said, just so you know, I don't care. I don't care one bit. I don't care. I won't be reporting you guys. Go ahead, do what you're going to do. I don't care. I don't care. And we need to focus on the change. You and I, as people who are a part of this movement, we need to focus on the change, not the haters. Don't focus on them. Remember, they are past tense. They are 1984. That's what they are. They are the past. We are the future. And if you think this isn't going to grow and grow and grow, you're wrong. This just gets bigger. We just get more people. More people. I'm going to unveil 2 things this week. Go to Dallas, go to Mississippi, I come back here. I'll change my residency in April to Ohio. And when I come back here, I'll have unveiled them before I come, a new system called transparency. Don't use the word law enforcer or police anymore. It's called transparency. And there's 2 agencies. One's transparency and one's transparency oversight. 24-hour camera, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay? The other thing I'm going to unveil this week is the new third party called the Transparency Civil Rights Party. That's the new thing I'm unveiling. Just like the Whig Party, just like the Bull Moose Party, there's been What other parties were there? What other parties were there? Oh, just so you guys know, I just saw someone just said, when someone calls me a narcissist, I own it. I love it. I'm a narcissist. Everything I'm doing for myself. So that if you get put in a dungeon, I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm really helping you so that I don't go to a dungeon. Or I'm helping you so that I get publicity. That's why I'm doing it. But if it gets you out of the dungeon, why do you care why I'm doing it? When someone calls me a narcissist, I shrill up into a ball and I go, oh my God, I should quit. Just so you know, every person who's in front of the camera, every person is called a narcissist. It's the most generic. And by the way, one time I talked to Yunez's wife and I gave her a long explanation of where the term narcissism comes from. And that's going to come from Rene Descartes. Rene Descartes, I can't say his name properly. And what Rene Descartes said, he's a philosopher. Maybe you've heard of Descartes. You've heard of that philosopher called Descartes. And so Descartes is his name. And what he said was, I think, therefore I am. That's what he said. Have you heard that before? I think, therefore I am. No, dude, I'm not a communist. I'm not for socialism or communism. Not as a national system. Okay? So if Rene Descartes was alive today, if he said, I think, therefore I am, and all the onus was on him as I am, I think, I am, man, you must be a narcissist. Or Rene Descartes was one of the most influential philosophers in the entire history of time. Maybe every other philosopher after Descartes modeled himself and used the basis of his philosophies for his own philosophies. Maybe that's true. Is that true? Do you know if that's true? That is true. So the things that I'm going to present over the next 2 weeks are going to blow your mind. And I'm only going to do that. I'm going to send off the audios to friends all over the country. I already have. And then I'm going to focus just on the new system called transparency and just on the new third party. I'm going to get those done, get those released so I can get back here. I got to go by Mississippi and sue those people. I promised Louisiana and Hot Springs I would swing by, but I'm not going to be there for more than a short while because I got to be back here by the 28th, as you guys know, for my court date. And I look forward to that day in court. I'll tell you that. I look forward to my day in court with a jury trial where a jury can watch the trial and the jury can decide if I have done anything wrong. And Pam, I mean, did you guys see the way Pam behaved? Did you see how she behaved? The way Pam behaved, did you see it? It was incredible. What really sucks for these guys is they have as many Facebook subscribers as are on this live right now. I think they have 1.7 thousand. So they have double the amount of subscribers to their Facebook page that are on this chat right now. Okay. So but just so you guys understand, I got to say that. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. As I talked to the girl yesterday about being RAPED, as I talked to her about unveiling her story, I got to make sure people subscribe, like, and share. Just put that in context for a second. Just imagine in your brain the cognitive dissonance it takes to be like, subscribe, and share while you're talking to a girl who's going to expose an RAPE. Just imagine that. That friends, family, loved ones are saying, hey man, make sure you tell them to like, subscribe, and share. And the meanwhile, I'm talking to a young woman who's going to put her story on camera about what she went through as a human being and the atrocity that my sister had to live through. And my sister got pregnant and had a baby after that RAPE. And my sister gave that baby up for adoption instead of having instead of ending her pregnancy. And so the amount of mind separation, cognitive dissonance, is when you have two opposing ideas in your mind that are diametrically opposed, but yet you can hold both of them in your mind and they make sense. So in other words, you could say, man, I really don't like ketchup, but I love ketchup. I love tomatoes, right? So it's a bad example. A better example would be that you support police, but you don't support this brand of policing. That's a pretty easy one, right? Because while you support the human beings who are cops, you don't support the policies of cops, but then it takes the human being to sign up to do that to you, right? Right? Like, remember when the global bird flu was going on, you know, who was it in New York City that were grabbing people out of restaurants and putting them in shackles? Okay. Who was it? Who was it? Can someone tell me in New York City when the cops were arresting people for not having their V card, to go in and have some dinner, and they arrested that man in front of his child, and so many people in New York said, turn your badge in for what you've done. Who does it take to do that? Does it take a person to go in and arrest that person? It takes a person to do that? Jacob Cochran. His name was Jacob Cochran. Oh, did someone put the exact definition? Cognitive dissonance is a disconnect of realizing your views oppose each other. A Boring Sandwich put that. Cognitive dissonance is when you realize that your views are opposing and yet you hold the same views in your mind. So for people who back support police and at the same time realize that it's a tyrannical police state we live in. Oh, dude, I can show you 200 push-ups in 2 minutes, no problem, dude. Not a problem one bit. But see, I'm not here to prove myself to you. I mean, listen, just if there's any cameras in the jail, just FOIA the cameras of when I was in the dungeon, and you'll see that I did exactly what I'm telling you. Exactly what I'm telling you. So you're welcome to look them up. Just look it up. I mean, I can drop down and do it right here, right now. I know how good a shape I'm in. I know how good a shape I'm not in. What are we doing? Are we doing it? Let me see. I'm going to see if these guys are... We're not doing it. I want to give them a chance, but at the same time, I don't... Yo! Okay. I don't want to beg to talk to anybody. It's just so frustrating. I don't want to beg to people. It's not what I want to do. Are we doing this or not doing it? Okay. 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 I don't want to be treated like I'm in a jail. People are going to walk by and ignore me. Okay. Okie dokie. It is what it is, boys and girls. Okie dokie. Okay. So you have to get to a point where you have to decide where you stand. And you're going to have to figure that out pretty damn quick. You're going to have to figure out where you stand. You really are. Because there's change coming. There's change. And I said this yesterday. I said this yesterday. You know, I'm not going to deal with trolls. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. Remember, there's always going to be trolls. There's always going to be people who say things about what we're doing. And we're always going to have them. It's never going to go away. It'll never go away. You know, it'll never end. It'll never stop. So just don't think about it. I used to have a Mitsubishi Eclipse. I remember that car. My Mitsubishi Eclipse got impounded, and then they auctioned it in Houston, Texas. That's what happened to my Mitsubishi Eclipse I used to have. I just saw a Mitsubishi Eclipse drive by. That's what happened. Yep. And so, you know, what we do is we do everything through peace. There is no violence in this movement. There is no violence. There will be no violence. We will not fight back. When Pam came to arrest me yesterday, you guys saw that I willingly went with them. I willingly walked with those people. So, you know, you got to make sure that you guys stay super focused on making sure that we stay peaceful, that we stay super peaceful. Thanks, Wolverine. Appreciate you, man. So yeah, you know, and if anybody hasn't heard, his name was Jacob Cochran. I'm seeing some stuff. And if you guys didn't see the video that was made last night about Derek Medley, you guys should take a look at that as well. You guys should take a look at that as well. You know, take a look at it, because then you'll get to see. And then I'd like to identify that woman at the courthouse today, and I'd like to know what her business is. I'd like to know who she was and what her business was, because she doesn't live here. She just has her business here, and then she lives somewhere else. Well, you know, don't harass anybody. Don't harass anybody. I just want to know what her business is. You know, don't listen to me. I was canceled. I went through cancel culture. Don't blow people up on the internet. It's not right. You know, you're welcome to voice your concerns with people who you care about, but you're not welcome to harass someone or try to get them to get so mentally depressed that they don't want to live anymore. And just so you guys know, and accountability for all was along for the accountability of all for all. We talked when we talked when I was going through that cancel culture, and I'll tell you what, you know, I remember going through that, and I remember just like being like so upset and going through cancel culture. And even still, when I was going through cancel culture, I was never suicidal, you know, but it was hard. It was hard. It was hard going on your thing, and just so many people just hate your guts, and they've never seen anything you've done. They're calling you things that aren't true. It's just, you know, it's just horrifically bad. It's just horrifically bad, you know. And so I'm not telling you guys everything that I'm seeing going on around me, but you no longer acknowledge them. That's what they want. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be acknowledged. Don't acknowledge them. Thanks, Chuck. Don't acknowledge people who want your attention for hatred. Don't do it. Listen, I lived through it. I lived through it. I lived through it. So, you know, don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't acknowledge people who are haters. Don't even involve yourself with them. Don't even think about it. Don't even allow it to be something that you dig into. I'm telling you, man. I found peace, and I don't know how, and I don't know when, and I don't know why. I just, all of a sudden, one day, all of a sudden, I just felt like I don't give a shit. I don't care. But you got to remember, I went through cancel culture in 2021. So once you go through it once, man, you learn real quick. You learn real quick. And so I did. And now, you know, that YouTube letter helped me so much. It helped me so much because here's a representative of YouTube telling me, hey, you know. And so what I did is I then, yeah, give me 1 second, but I'll come take a picture. So then what I did was I responded back to YouTube and I said, I don't care. I don't care. It'll never stop. It's never going to stop. And I think it was in that moment where I said, I don't really care what anybody says or does. I don't give a flying. I just don't care. I just don't give a shit. Because if you care, then what happens is that empowers the person. Let's go, brother.
Thank you.
You bet, brother. You bet. So you just don't want to give them power. Trust me, man. Remember, if I had not responded to leave the dweeb, then I probably wouldn't be suing him right now. If I had just not responded to his hatred towards me. But when I responded in kind with hatred, then it blew up into something that was negative. So there's going to be people who are going to talk trash. Really, don't send me any more screenshots. I'm just not interested. Don't send me an email and tell me to watch my back. Peace, brother. Don't send me an email. I mean, unless someone's coming for me right now and I got to grab my gun, then don't tell me, hey, be careful out there. Hey, you know, watch your back out there. Watch my back from what? Watch my back from what? I mean, what? You're going to kill me? if you're going to kill me, then kill me. Just do it. But it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me at all. Now, other people, because they haven't been through cancel culture, I literally, when I was in Springfield, Missouri in 2021, when I posted up a story about Jalen Goodwin on my TikTok account, there were, I mean, I'm talking thousands and thousands. Could you imagine? What if you opened up your Facebook page and 1,000 people told you that they hated you? Just imagine that. And Jordan Peterson, I think JP had the best quote I've ever heard. And here's what he said, because he was always on Twitter fighting with people. And he said, when the Twitter mob comes for you, there may be 10,000 people on Twitter telling you how much they hate you and they wish you were dead and all that stuff. But he said, it does. You know for a fact in your mind, because you're a logical human being, that they're not standing outside your door. He said, but it feels like they're standing outside your door. So that's my whole thing with you guys. You know, there's always going to be people who are going to hate. They're going to hate, especially if their daddy was a pig or their boyfriend's a pig or, you know, their husband or wife is a pig, you know, and they're always going to be haters. Always. Remember, people who sign up to do that put torture cuffs on people. I couldn't imagine doing that to you, man. After the second or third time you said, ow, I would be like, dude, take those cuffs off of him. Take them off of him. I'll take my belt out, strap it around his wrist, tie it in a knot. He's not going to go anywhere. And he won't be crying the whole time that he's in pain. You know, and I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm just going to re-mention it. When I have bone spurs on both of my shoulders, weightlifters get bone spurs. And what happens when you pin my wrist behind my back is the bone spur literally is going through my ligament and it's just poking right into my ligament. So after less than 5 or 6 minutes, I'm in so much pain that I'm crying. There's tears coming down my face because not because the wrists hurt incredibly, but for me, because I've seen x-rays, long bone spurs sticking out of my shoulder blades. I can't go through that. You know, it's just too painful. It literally is the most painful thing. I think one of the most painful things in the world. I've separated this shoulder a couple times. I dislocated this shoulder in wrestling. And so you just get to this point where you're like, you know, I don't want to be shackled like that, man. I don't want to be shackled like a pig. It's not what I want. So if you're my friend and you want to be a part of this movement, and you are a part of the movement, my friend, you are, then what I want you to do is I want you to ignore them. If they do a Back the Blue rally, don't look. Don't say anything to them. What did MLK Jr., and I played a tiny excerpt from his speech, from his letter that he wrote from the jail in Birmingham, where he said these things, and over time, what happened was change happened because he refused to engage with the haters. We're in the same civil rights movement today. How you doing, brother? How you doing?
What you do, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you, man. So I'm just down here at the Speedway here in town because I was going to have an interview over here, but that didn't work out. So you know, you got to see the people who come up to me. I don't put them on camera just to protect their identity, but the people who come up to me are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. You guys, that old lady today, hey, DPN, if DPN gets this message and the new channel we started, DPN in Chille, listen, DPN, that old lady, what she said, and I'm not just trying to, I am identifying her as old lady because she was an old lady and she didn't give her name. And she was so raw dog. She was so raw dog. It was crazy. It was crazy. And she laid out her whole truth. She laid out her entire truth. She laid it all out, you know. And let me tell you how far that I'm willing to go when I talk about not acknowledging haters, right? When I say just don't get involved with those people, right? So when I found out in life, you know, over time, I figured out, you know, how physically strong I was. And then I figured out how much my mental capacity held, and I could take a topic and I could argue with people about that topic. But remember, I'm still in my 20s at this time. And so what I would do is I would get in debates with people, into a debate with them. And then I would continue to push that debate, and I would push that debate, and I would push that debate. And they would start to lose their composure. And I would continue to push and continue to say, no, because you're wrong, because you don't know the information, because you're dumb, because you're dull, because you didn't read. And I would push them and push them. And a few times in life, more than I can actually honestly count, the person who I was debating, because I was pushing them, would lose their cool. And sometimes I didn't know they were going to lose their cool right at that moment. And they would hit me right in the face. Bam! But when you wrestle for 20 years, the first thing a guy does after you shake hands, he war clubs you across the head. And so I've been hit in the face so many times I can't count them all. Obviously, my maxilla up here is broken. That's why my teeth can't be held in. And but just so you know, when those people who I was in a debate with, when they would lose their cool and punch me in the face, and it happened a lot. It happened a lot. Because they thought I was little and they could beat me up or whatever. And they'd be going crazy and their friend would be holding them back. And I go, let them go, bro. Let them go. Let them go. I never hit those people back, not once. I never got into a fist fight where it started as a debate and then they hit me. And then I fought them. Nope, that never happened. Not one time in my life, not ever. Because as soon as they punched me in the face, you know what I said to them? You lost. You lost. You lost your cool, dude. We were having a talk and you just hit me right here, dude. You lost your cool. You lost the debate. And it didn't even make me mad that they hit me because they lost the debate. I won. I'm winning. And that's what I want you to do with these folks here who are people who are haters. That's what I want you guys to do. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to keep your cool. I don't want you guys to get involved. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you. I want you guys to keep your cool. I don't want you to engage. You know, if you notice today, I stopped filming, and I picked this up today, by the way. I stopped filming the Back the Blue people. I just stopped altogether. I just quit. I just stopped doing it. And I did have one woman who said that she would do the handcuff challenge. And so I'm looking forward to doing the handcuff challenge with that one woman. Looking forward to that. And that's what I'm going to do. There's one woman in here who lives here who said she'll do the handcuff challenge. I think we're gonna have to wait till I get back, but I got her number. I'm gonna give her a call and I'm gonna put her through the handcuff challenge. The only problem is, here's the only problem I have doing that, right? Is that when I researched neuropathy, and that's nerve damage in your wrist, I found out that it's permanent nerve damage and it can hurt you for the rest of your life. So I'm going to put those cuffs on her after she signs a waiver, but I'm going to put them on tight, but not too tight. What I'm going to do, instead of putting the cuffs on too tight, I'm going to put them on tight, but then I'm just going to rip them around a little bit. I'm just going to pull them around so that the cuffs are sliding up and down the skin, but not so tight that they give her neuropathy. She's more going to get the superficial flesh wounds that all of us have gotten, that so many of you have emailed the pictures of people who have shown me the damage from handcuffs, which is atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. So now I've got like lots of cars circling around here. Lots of cars. People are coming over. People are driving by now. How you doing? Oh, just that guy just came by to give me a mean mug. But the thing is I'm not intimidated. I'm not. Sorry. I am not afraid. I am not even slightly afraid. I'm not afraid. How you guys doing? I'm just not. I don't have that in me. Terry.
Successful.
Yes, Corey got his money. Corey Speaker, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. And thank you. You want to be done for the day?
Unless you need me, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Well, I mean, you can stick around for a couple more minutes. I'm going to cut this live here pretty quick, and I gotta get some stuff together. But there's a couple people who are trying to antagonize, but I'm not going to acknowledge. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna remember we got a bigger goal here, and that bigger goal is to the bigger goal is to so there's always going to be people who try to intimidate you, who try to talk trash to you, that try to do things to annoy you, and you literally cannot let it bother you. There will be people who will say, oh, your cousin's in jail and my brother beat him up, or my brother took him to the dungeon, right? You literally just can't get involved. You just cannot get involved. You have to stay 100% neutral. You really do. Or you're going to ruin what we're starting and what we're doing and what's started already. And we don't want you to do that because your ego and because your anger and because you can't control your temper. You can affect this whole movement. And by the way, that's what the police have done. That's what the cops have done. The cops put bad actors in Minneapolis for the BLM protest. We know that to be a fact because the guy who started breaking the windows in Minnesota, that guy was a cop. His ex-wife identified him and said, hey, my husband was the guy who broke the windows in that building. They'll do anything to derail the movement of change. And this was part of Barack Obama's amazing pitch, hope and change, hope and change. I bought it, I ate it. I was like, yeah, hope and change, hope and change. We just didn't know he was a mass murderer and that he was a fraud. We didn't know that. You think that he wouldn't be a fraud because he was going to be the first black president, but no, he was a fraud. He was a fraud. I mean, it's similar to Trump, who said, oh, I'm going to end the deep state. I'm going to pardon Assange and Snowden. And then he didn't. And then he didn't. And then instead he put out a CIA hit on Julian Assange. And they have lobotomized him. Julian Assange is a fraction of the man he was. They put chemicals into him to mess up his brain. So you guys can see the level of articulation and education that I've acquired completely on my own. Just by auditing classes and auditing master's courses and watching YouTube videos and reading. And you guys have seen. So if anything happens to my mental state, then clearly you'll see that what they did is the same thing they did to Julian Assange to me. It's a scary thing to think about, but at the same time, I cannot be deterred. Right? So, anyway. I actually want to jump on the phone. I've got a couple people that I was going to call today. And I set time aside to do this thing. And now I'm right back to where I was going to be anyway. Now I'm right back to making sure that we interview some more victims. If you guys want to support me, you can go and get the digital ebook or digital poster. I just read someone. The way you can support what I'm doing is you can get my digital poster or digital ebook or digital trifold. The digital trifold is free by putting FreeTrifold in when you check out. How you doing, bud? That's how you can support me, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Hey, bud. How you doing?
Care if I get a picture?
Go ahead, brother. Jump over.
Go ahead and get my camera real quick. I've been supporting you for the past good bit here.
Ready, brother?
Hold on. I'm
Turn that
trying to
around.
Turn around.
There it is.
Thank you.
Anytime, my brother. Hey, what do you do when you see cops?
Don't pay attention to them.
Film them.
Plead the fifth.
Film them.
Yep.
What do you do when you see cops?
Film them.
So what are you gonna tell everybody else?
Film them.
What do you do when you see a cop?
Film them.
What if you're just in Speedway grabbing a candy bar? What do you do?
Film them.
What if you're just getting some gas?
Film them.
What if you're washing your car and a cop drives by?
Film them.
What do you do if you're just walking down the street and you see a cop?
Film them.
If he's got someone pulled over, what do you do?
Film them. No matter what.
Hold your phone right out. I'm filming.
I did that just the other day.
Yeah, because they don't have a right to take your phone, and that's what they're doing here.
Yep.
Okay?
I've been supporting you from the longest time, man, and you know what? It's really great work you're doing.
Well,
here,
you're
man.
supporting yourself, and you're supporting the mission, and
Right.
and supporting. I'm just leading, but
Right.
but it's us.
Right.
It's us. Am I any better than you? Are you any better than me?
No.
No, we're the same.
Both equals.
We're equals. That's right. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you, brother. We're the same. We are absolutely 100% the same. You're not going to be on camera. What's going on? Okay.
You can stop by there if you want.
Why don't you write your number down and give it to me, and I'll give you a call.
Okay, well, I don't have a pen or anything.
Okay, well, I got a pen.
But I'm saying you could come in there and sit in the back if you wanted to talk to somebody.
Or why don't you just give me a call and tell me the story that you're holding in your head? Okay. I'll come by there then before I leave. How late is that open? Okay. I give you my word that I won't.
8 o'clock.
Okay.
Park on the, well,
Okay.
the back door will be locked, but you park back there. 112.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, yeah. Well, I agree with 9 of the 10 commandments. Just so you know, if we're going to talk biblical, I agree with 9 of the 10 commandments. And the only one I don't agree with is thou shalt not have any gods before me. And so that commandment to me is what is part of the reason why I went into atheism for so long. And then when you interpret that, what that means is that you shouldn't worship money or sex or power more than you worship God. And I got that from Jordan Peterson. But I watched his Bible series. But the other commandments, what's the big one? What's the big one? Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. That's the big commandment, isn't it? And what's the other big one? What's the other really, really big commandment? Thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not covet. And what does that mean exactly when you say thou shalt not covet? That means if I see Terry and I see Terry's wife, I should want a woman just like Terry's wife, but not Terry's wife. And that's what thou shalt not covet goes back to. And then the other ones are going to be based upon your social status within the social contract. And what I mean by that is thou shalt not steal. How hungry are you? How hungry are you? You might steal. I'm not sure if you're a Gen X or older, you saw a movie called Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and John Aykroyd. And in the movie Trading Places, what they did to Eddie Murphy and John Aykroyd is they had them switch places financially. And the two guys who made it happen, they made a bet and they said, will he lie, cheat, and steal? And then eventually, when they cut all finances from Dan Aykroyd, not John Aykroyd, sorry about that. Dan Aykroyd eventually did lie, cheat, and steal. Because when you don't have any money, you'll be amazed the things that you would do. You'll be amazed. And then when you're a felon and you don't have any money and you're on drugs, then all of a sudden you're criminalized and there's no love for you, and then you end up living in a dungeon. Okay. Chuck Bronson in the house. I love Chuck Bronson. Thank you, Chuck Bronson. Everybody make sure you subscribe to Chuck Bronson's channel. Make sure you subscribe to DPN, Disorderly Product News. Disorderly Product News did a great breakdown I put on Facebook. Did anybody see Disorderly Product News's video of the breakdown? Did anybody see that breakdown? Did anybody see it? Anybody see the breakdown? I'm just asking. Chuck Bronson, I love following you, dude. Chuck Bronson will drive around. You know, just so you guys know, I've been a content absorber for 20 years, and now I'm finally actually creating content. How you guys doing? And I watch Chuck Bronson's channel for like 3 hours at a time when he just drives around on his scanner going and filming cops. Chuck Bronson, you're such a badass, dude. Respect you so much, Chuck Bronson. You're such the man. I'm so grateful for the work that you put in. It lets the cops know there's literally someone tracking them to go see where they are to film them. And that's what Chuck Bronson does. I passed a cop today, and I was actually talking on the phone. I still pointed my phone at him as though I was filming. He waved. It was in Kentucky. I think I was in Kentucky. I've been in all 3 states today of the tri-state area. So any which way. Chuck rocks. DPN, one of my favorites. Lackluster. James Freeman. I don't talk about James Freeman that much anymore because I'm so busy creating. But James Freeman is literally one of the most badass auditors ever. Him and DPN, they both know their rights so well. It's just they know it so well. Oh, San Joaquin Valley Transparency. And then San Joaquin Audits. San Joaquin Audits and Nate Skates and San Joaquin Jr., those guys are doing some great work. Have you guys seen San Joaquin Audits and San Joaquin Jr. and Nate Skates? Have you seen those guys? Type their names in there if you would, please. San Joaquin Audits, San Joaquin Jr., and San Joaquin Nate Skates. Because there's San Joaquin Valley Transparency, and that's the father. And then the 3 boys, let me tell you something. Those are young men, and the videos they are producing is amazing. The work those guys are doing, top notch. Top notch. I'm telling you, a new day has dawned. God dang it. Change happens now. All right. I could sit here all day. Accountability for All. Make sure you guys hit my buddy Accountability for All is in the room, and he's actively tomorrow 5 p.m. I'll be on Accountability for All. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. I will be on account. Yeah, I'm so grateful to San Joaquin Valley Transparency for coming in and bringing us 3 boys, and they did a full video of my office when I built the timeline. I can't be more grateful to those guys for giving me an opportunity. And just so you guys know, DPN has taught me so much about YouTube. It's incredible. Originally, San Joaquin Valley Transparency came to my office himself, took my phone and said, you need to do this and you need to do that. And Chille, you got to do this. And Chille, you got to do that. That was San Joaquin Valley Transparency who came to my office and set up my YouTube studio and my YouTube page. And dude, literally. And then when I got lost and I was having a hard time with my live, Accountability for All sat on the phone with me and helped me fix it. I mean, just incredible. Okay. You gotta, you gotta be humble because you're just one person. You're just one person. You're not the end all be all. Tom Zebra, huge dude. I've been following Tom Zebra for years. I mean, for years. And someone just said in here, cult leader. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm so grateful. Oh, I follow him too. I can never say it properly. Amaganti Press, huge, amazing guy. But let me say something to you guys. So someone just said in here, they called me a cult leader. They're trying to insult me. Thank you for saying that. Thank you so much for saying that. There's a book that I've read maybe a dozen times at least. It's called it's called the 20. I want to say it's the 48 Laws of Power. The 48 Laws of Power. I've read it several times. And one of those laws is create a cult-like following. That's what it says. Create a cult-like following. And so if we have successfully created a cult-like following and that person called me a cult leader, yes. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm so super grateful to you. So super grateful. Alrighty. I think I blabbed here long enough. I was going to show you guys an on-camera interview, but that guy got offended that I wasn't there on time. Tom Zebra is amazing. Oh, so, Jeff Gray. I see someone drop in on the comments, say Jeff W. Gray. But you know who the Grand Poobah, you know who the original G is? You know who the original OG was? The original OG, just so you guys know, of all auditors was Carlos Miller. Carlos Miller. And Philip Turner was right there, just so you know. Philip Turner and I have known each other for over a decade. I've never met the man personally in real life. Philip Turner's got an amazing channel. He's Turner versus Driver 2017 is based on Philip Turner. That you don't have the right to detain a journalist. That he sued and he won, and he created case precedent out of what court was that out of? That wasn't the Sixth Circuit, was it? Was that the Sixth Circuit? I think that it was. Anybody let me know? Was that the Sixth Circuit? I can't remember. Was it the Sixth Circuit? Anyway, listen, I've got to go. I've got to get some things done. I love DirectEase. You guys, people are trying to start a controversy. What are you talking about, dude? I love that guy. I love what he does. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Listen, I'm going to get the flock out of here. I appreciate you guys. There's Chuck Bronson's channel. Make sure that you guys subscribe to Chuck Bronson. This little thing right there. It's one of those portable lights so that people can still see your face when you're talking. But it puts a ring on my eyes. You see that? I'm a cult-like follower. Or whatever he said. Accountability for all. Absolutely the original OG of all auditing was Carlos Miller. Without Carlos Miller's publication, Photography is Not a Crime, I don't know if a lot of us would be here right now as far as being able to film and do the things that we do. Carlos Miller is the original OG, and now he's just doing a podcast called Photography is Not a Crime, so you guys should subscribe to that. All right, man. It was the Fifth Circuit. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. Marxist. I'm not a Marxist. I'm not for communism. I'm not for Marxism, and I'm not for socialism. I'm for none of those things. Matter of fact, a good friend of mine, Beast, he and I have had some discussions about socialism and communism, and I've made it very clear to Beast that I'm not for Marxism or communism. Sorry. All right, I got to get the flock out of here. Thanks a lot, guys. I want to get going. I'm not going to even focus on the hate. I'm going to focus on the positivity. Remember, oh yeah, Almaganti Press. I love Almaganti. Sorry about that. Quick note to self. You can't touch links in the comment section or it'll kick you off. Sorry about that. Okay, anyway. Listen, I just popped back on for 15 seconds here to say, make sure you hit your like button, subscribe, make sure you get the free Trifold. If you're not buying the indestructible one, hit the like button. Everybody hit your like button right now. I can try to slow down the chat, but when there's this many people in here, it's almost impossible. All right, cool. I'm going to get the flock out of here. Hit your like button. Make sure you subscribe. Panac News is amazing. What's really ironic is, I'm not going to acknowledge it. Someone came in and said something the other day, and I just was like, I can't believe that you're even popping your head up, bro, to be honest. But that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to get the flock out of here. I'm going to go do some stuff. Remember what we say? We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop, we won't stop, and we don't stop ever. We never stop. We never stop. I will never, ever, 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 ever stop. Ever. I will never stop. Ever. Oh, by the way, did you guys see that the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office, you don't have to give them your social security number. I'm suing them. Lawsuit coming. Jeff Lawless, lawsuit coming. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to see if we can get an attorney to do a class action lawsuit. If they forced you to give your social security number, make sure you let me know. Oh, News Now Ninja. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention News Now Ninja and Frickin' Media. News Now Ninja is doing a phenomenal job. Have you guys seen News Now Ninja, thank you, dude. News Now Ninja, you make me feel like I'm not alone, just so you know. News Now Ninja, you being there gives me a lot of peace, gives me a lot of confidence. I'm so grateful for News Now Ninja and him coming in and even writes on, and I'm so grateful. News Now Ninja makes me feel safe because I know that if anything happens to me, that guy will never stop till he uncovers what happens to me. And I feel grateful because listen, this is the ultimate price. I may pay the ultimate price. You guys know that. That's not that's not a joke, right? I'm not afraid, but I'm not going to go out like a weeping willow either. So, you know, if I pay the ultimate price, then for the love of God, overturn Terry versus Ohio. For the love of God, overturn Terry versus Ohio. If I end up having to pay with my soul, then you guys make sure you overturn Terry. At all costs. No matter what. Because if they take me out, then Terry has to go after that. Okay? So I don't want to think about that. I want to think about being there to celebrate the win of when the legislation is finally signed that I'm not an attorney. I didn't go to law school. I have no education. I'm not an attorney. I am not a lawyer. I've never taken the bar. I don't even know a court procedure. I have no idea how court procedure works. I'm terrible at it. Someone sent me whoever sent me that today. Oh, I think it was April. Sent me the class I can take. I'm going to take that class. So, yeah, I don't have any education. None. I'm just a regular old dunce cap. But it just happens that I read a lot. I sure do know a lot of information for being a dunce cap, but I don't want to misconstrue that I have no formal education other than a few years of college. So I'm just a regular old, just like you. That's all. Okay. All right. I'm going to get out of here this time. I'm actually going to hang up this thing. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. I really appreciate you. God bless you guys. God bless the United States. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. And we don't stop. We don't stop. And we will not stop ever. God bless your family. Later.